Our video is going to be more of a tutorial on how to set up for a project than to actually step-by-step go through the project. We will be filming an actual step-by-step of creating one of these pouches in a later video, but for the first part of the video, I wanted to go over exactly what you need to do to prepare your fabric to make a either chip bag or candy bag or cookie bag, whatever it is that you decide to make with your fabric. Okay, so we are actually going to make candy wrapper or cookie or chip fabric. So join me as I show you how to turn trash into a totally cute zipper pouch. When we make candy wrapper bags, you can use any type bag you would like, something that's your favorite. It could even be chips, or it could be cookies or snacks. It doesn't matter what it is, because this is the size bag that I used to make this bag here. It's a 6x6 zipper pouch. So our pouches can be made from candy wrappers, and I was going to do a tutorial which would go into how to actually make the bag, but I think it's more important to go into how to make the candy wrapper paper first. Okay, now any zipper pouch design can be used with these bags as long as the bag is big enough. How does that work? Okay, so here are 3 different bag sizes. And what I've done is I've downloaded a zipper bag set pattern from Embroidery Garden, and I have a link to that pattern in the description below, because this particular pattern comes with 11 different size bags. So that's why I chose that one for this particular project, because not only does this pattern come with 11 size bags, the 11 size bags each come with either a square bag or a rectangle bag. So your options are plentiful as far as trying to find one to match the candy wrapper or the chip bag that you're wanting to use. Now, this particular bag here, I am actually going to do a 4x4 bag out of this one, and so really excited about doing that. So what I've done is I've brought over the instructions, and I wanted to show you exactly how I go about planning to do this project. So we all know that you would get fabric to make a bag, and in a lot of instances we would use cotton, or you could use vinyl, any number of fabrics to create your bag. However, we are going to make our fabric out of these bags, but you have to be sure that the bag is the correct size for the project that you have at hand. So here I have all the different sizes, well, most of the different sizes rather, on this paper. So here I have 4x4, 5x5, 5x7, 6x6, 6x10, 7x7, 7x12, and it goes even bigger from there in just one design that she has set on her website. So the 4x4, notice we have a zipper, which we already are aware of that because we've made in the hoop bags before, but she lists in order A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I in the order that each piece of fabric is going to be used in the design as you're embroidering it in the hoop. So the first thing we'll need is lining, we'll need fabric, and we'll need batting, because these bags are quilted. See, they have a quilting, a stippling on there, and it's quilted. So you want to give it some substance so that when it quilts the bag, you can feel the texture of it. Now, with the lining fabric, the batting, and the regular fabric, we need to double check our measurements. Now, the largest size on the 4x4 bag is going to be 5.5 inches. Okay, so the largest pieces are 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So that's the lining. Here's the batting, 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And then the fabric, which is what we're going to be using these for instead of regular fabric. So that's going to be 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So because this bag is relatively small, my hope is that I can use this for the 4x4 bag, but we need to measure it first. So I have my ruler here, and we are going to measure and see if this bag is 5.5 inches wide at least. Okay, so this particular bag, as you see, is right at 5.5 inches wide. So this bag just meets the measurement requirement. And because we know it's 5.5 inches wide, we know it's definitely big enough this way at 7 inches. Okay, now the front of the bag is made of 2 pieces of fabric. So here's one piece down here and one up there, and then the back is one whole piece. Okay, so with this particular pouch, I used 2 bags of chips to create this bag. So one, it's the little small bags that are at the checkout counter where you can do 3 for $1 or something like that, the super cheap little teeny bags. That's what I use for this particular one, so that I would have the front of the chip bag and the front of the chip bag as the front and back of our zipper pouch. However, on this bag, I use the front of the bag and then I use the back of the bag as the back of the actual pouch. So that being the case, that's pretty much what I'm going to do with this one, because I only have one bag. I didn't buy 2 of these. So that being the case, we know that the front is here, the back is there, so I have enough of the chip bag in order for this to work. Now, knowing that it's 5.5 by 5.5 for the back, the front is 2 pieces, as I mentioned before. So the bottom part of the front of the bag is 3.5 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide. And then the next piece is going to be 2 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide, is how this pouch is going to set up. So I need to determine exactly where I want my graphic to be for this bag. Is it going to be this part of the bag, or do I want the picture of the candies? How do I want this to be? So once I make my determination, one thing that I found quite helpful is a square grid, because this is going to help me get my size correct. And I know I need 5.5 by 5.5, right? And this is right there at it. So what I need to do is determine where I'm going to lay out my pattern, and I'm probably going to do 5.5 across. So I'm probably going to leave it as much of this center as possible. So that being the case, I'll just cut off right here. But always check on the back and be sure that you may want this part of the bag for your front, but on the back you may want the bottom part, depending upon the graphic on your bag. So if it comes to that, then you'll have to cut up the sides in order to make it one piece for the front, one piece for the back, and then determine how you want to cut it. But since I know I'm just going to use the front, I'm going to go ahead and cut both, just like I did this blow pop bag. I cut off both ends. All right, so once I determine my 5.5, then I go ahead and I cut. Okay, so here is my fabric for my 4x4 bag. Very, very easy to accomplish. And then we'll cut up the side to make sure that we have a piece of fabric. Okay, so likewise, when it's time for me to make my double bubble bag, I want this to be a little bit bigger than 4x4. So for this one, I'll probably do either a 5x7 bag. Let's see if it would fit for a 6x10 bag. So the 6x10 bag, the largest piece of fabric is 8x12. So I need to make sure that it's at least 8 inches this way and then 12 inches that way, because of course your pouch is wide. So I'll measure, make sure that it's 12 inches. And this bag is just shy of 12 inches. Look, I am at 11. It's 11 inches for this particular bag. So I'm not going to be able to use this bag for a 6x10 zipper pouch. So that's why I'm showing this, to help guide you through measuring out your bags and making sure that it's going to fit the projects that you want it to fit. And then you can create the project and the look that you want. Now, once you figure out your fabric and you get your pieces of fabric cut, we need to actually make this where it's durable for your bag. Now, there's two options that I found out there, but it's all the same thing. They're both the same thing. Heat and Bond has a version of Heat and Bond vinyl, and that's what you're looking for. You want it to be the vinyl iron-on fabric that layers over the top of this material. And also Pellon has a version, and this, as you can see, was on the bolt, so I was able to measure this out by the yard and purchase it. And this is also vinyl fuse, and it says gloss. So there's a gloss version, there's a matte version out there, but this is Pellon brand and this is the Heat and Bond brand. I've used both of them. This one is the, this one is the Pellon version, and then this one is the Heat and Bond version. And you see they're both still pretty glossy. They both look great, actually. So I love both of them for use. And what it looks like is it's this glossy material, and you peel it off. Now this is old as the hills. I don't even know when I purchased this Pellon version, which was on the bolt, but you peel it off. All right, you peel it off, and then you measure and you lay it on top of your fabric. Okay, because what we're going to do is press this to the surface of that. So I'm going to measure, rough estimate measurement, and then we're going to place it on the top of the candy bag. Okay, just like so. Now, when you press this on either your heat press, or you can put an iron over this on medium heat. Now, this Pellon brand says to use the backing that we just peeled off and lay it on top and iron on this. Don't iron directly on the plastic. But either way, even on a heat press, you want a Teflon sheet at least over the top of this, and then we press it. So we're going to press this at 205 degrees for about 5 seconds, 5 to 6 seconds, however long it takes to get this good and bonded. And then once we're done, we'll have our piece of fabric to use for our bag in the size that we need, actually. So let's go ahead and put the back fabric on. Now the back, when it has this seam, it's going to be a little difficult to get this to be completely smooth, but you don't have to worry about that being too perfect. We just need to make sure it fits. And the cool thing is, as you see, it's easy to peel up if it's not on straight. And then you can readjust it and smooth it out to get it however you feel it needs to be for it to be used for your fabric. All right, so we have our back part and now I have the front. So I will be cutting this to use as the two pieces for the front, and then I have my solid back that we'll be using for the back of the bag. Now I'm going to go to the heat press and press this, like I said, 205 degrees for 5 seconds. Now if you don't have Teflon paper, you can use butcher paper as well to press this on. And as you see, it peels right off that butcher paper without any issues. And here is our pressed fabric. Take this right off. And what you would do is just trim around it to make sure that it is not very much of this sticky. It doesn't hurt anything really to have it there. It just keeps things from getting sticky and gummy on your embroidery machine, on the sides and stuff when it's flipped over and used on your project. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this information. I thought it was a really cool project to make. I have thoroughly enjoyed these, and my daughter loves her Chex Mix bag because that's her favorite snack. So these would make really cute, awesome gifts for the kids, because you could make their favorite candy, or your favorite candy for that matter, and have a really nice zipper pouch to carry with you. Now the cool thing, as I mentioned before, about this process is you can use this even for key fobs. You can use it for bags. You can use it in place of fabric on many different projects. So if you do make a project with this, I would love to see it. So if you're in the hoop group, let me see the projects that you've worked on. I would absolutely love to see what you make with your candy wrapper fabric.